I haven't always liked anime. Today, I really like anime, and I've seen a bunch of different anime, but I haven't always liked anime. There was actually a period in my life where I thought people who watched anime were weird. I said they were weird when people would ask me if I watched anime. I was like, no, I don't watch cartoons. Like, I'm too old for that. I'm too cool. And the reason I probably thought that way, which is such a stupid, like, immature way to think, like, that, basically calling people stupid for just liking what they like. The reason I probably thought that is because back then, when I thought that way, I was in high school, and there were people in my high school that were just weirdos, and they watched anime, and even online on like Twitter and stuff, you would see a bunch of weirdos, like people who just have Japanese stuff all over their room, like obsessed with Japanese culture, have a bunch of like Japanese figures, which I think the figures thing is fine. Like I have some like Japanese like anime characters like in my room. I think it's fine if you want like anime characters in your room. It's a cool little display piece, you know what I mean? But back then, like I said, I was very immature and stupid, and I just didn't like it. But my opinion on anime and all that stuff was drastically changed after I watched an anime called Death Note. And the reason that I even started watching anime to begin with is because I had a lot of friends who liked anime, and then my girlfriend really liked anime. And so I asked my friend, and my friend was a big anime guy. He, watched so many, like over 100 different animes. And he had a My Anime List, which if you don't know, My Anime List is a website where basically, you make an account and then you can rank all the animes that you've seen, which is pretty cool, I think that's pretty dope. But he had a My Anime List and a bunch of stuff. So I asked him, I was like, okay, you've seen a bunch. If there's one anime you would recommend to me, what would it be? And he said Death Note. And then I asked my girlfriend the same question, and she said Death Note. And this was about 3 years ago, probably. I think it's around 3 years. Maybe it was 4, something like that. But around 3 years ago. So I said, okay, you know what? I'll give it a shot. The first episode, I watched it. Oh my God, I was in love. I watched the entirety of Death Note, which is 36 episodes. I watched it in, I think, 2 days. It was incredible, and to this day, it's the best anime I've ever seen. Since I've seen Death Note, I've watched Parasite, I've seen Demon Slayer. Oh God, I wish I wrote them all down. Parasite, Demon Slayer, I've seen Code Geass, I've seen Attack on Titan. I've watched a little bit of Ouran High School Host Club, Kakegurui. There's so many more that I've seen. I just can't think of them right now. I'm like put on the spot. I've seen a good amount of them though. What is it? Mob Psycho 100 or something like that. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I've seen a bunch of them. I don't know why I'm like drawing a blank. Oh yeah, I just watched Chainsaw Man. I finished Chainsaw Man the other day. Hunter x Hunter is one that I'm watching too right now. I think I'm on episode 123 or something like that on Hunter x Hunter. I'm almost done with that. There's 148 episodes or so in that show. So I've seen a bunch of anime at this point. I really think the genre is really cool. I think it's a really cool medium of like art, of like television, you know what I mean? And Death Note is just the best. It's just the best anime of all time. If you guys haven't, and this video is going to be kind of dedicated for people who don't watch anime or haven't watched anime but kind of want to give it a shot, dude, you have to watch it. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm not going to spoil it really at all because I don't think that's fair. I actually, whenever I go see a movie or a show or anything, I never watch the trailer. I pretty much just judge it off of the cover. And I know they always say, don't judge a book by its cover, but goddamn, I always judge a book by its cover. And it pretty much always pays off because whenever I see a cover and I'm like, oh, that's a good cover, this seems like an interesting movie, it almost always is. So, I don't even watch trailers because I feel like trailers nowadays just spoil everything. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I saw a trailer and I was like, wow, that is a good trailer. That didn't spoil anything. I mean, I almost never see that anymore. So yeah, I'm not going to spoil Death Note, but it is the greatest anime of all time. Basically, what the show is, without giving too much away, And this happens in the first episode, so I'm not like spoiling too much. But in the first episode, basically, this kid finds a notebook called the Death Note, and he realizes that whoever's name he writes in the Death Note will die. That's basically the gist of it. It goes on for, I think, like I said, 36 episodes. It's a pretty old anime. It came out, and I want to say 2011. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it was before that even. But it's a pretty old anime, and it is really good. It has this like kind of there's a bit of a cat and mouse game in it, where I'm not gonna spoil too much of it, but there's basically a cat and mouse game of it. And the show reminds me a lot of Breaking Bad. I know a lot of you have seen that, and if you like Breaking Bad, I almost guarantee that you will like this. There's just something about it. The story is written really well. Some of the characters are just super genius. The voice acting is incredible. And then, yeah, guys, if you haven't seen an anime before, you don't have to watch it. Like, it's not Japanese. You can watch it with, like, they have English dubs. So, for some reason, when I started watching anime, I didn't know that. I thought it was all in Japanese. I didn't know there were English dubs. But yeah, guys, you don't have to watch it in Japanese. You can watch the show in English, like, every other cartoon, every other show that you watch. But there are so many moments in the show that are just so absolutely shocking. And if you want to know another show that is kind of similar to Death Note after you finish Death Note, Code Geass is another one that's very similar. So, we'll do a little bit of an anime little tier list here from the stuff that I've seen and what I would recommend to you guys. So, Death Note, unfortunately, if you're anything like me, you're probably not going to find anything better than Death Note. Death Note's fantastic. Other great animes I've seen are Demon Slayer. Oh, actually, you know what? I wouldn't even say that. I do think Demon Slayer is good, but I think Death Note's probably the best I've seen. I think the second best I've seen is probably Attack on Titan. And I know this is a crazy ass take. Like, this is an absurd take because nobody ever talks about this anime, but I loved Parasite. I think Parasite is fantastic. I love Parasite. I would probably say Parasite's better than Demon Slayer. Oh, I've seen Blue Exorcist too. That's another one. I'd probably say Parasite is better than Demon Slayer. Hunter x Hunter's really good too. Like I said, I'm like really far into that. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm super close. Jujutsu Kaisen's another one I've seen. Jujutsu Kaisen's pretty awesome. I don't think I've seen season 2. There's a season 2, right? And there's a movie. I haven't seen that. That's stuff I need to do. There's so many like shows I want to watch, so many shows I want to see. But there's always like a time issue where it's like, God, that's a lot of time to watch all this stuff. So it's like, I want to watch this, I want to watch this, I want to watch this. But it's going to be a while before I get to that point. But what makes me bring this up today is because the other day I had a friend who just finished watching the show Avatar. And, Avatar's a cartoon. And so I was thinking of anime, because animes are basically cartoons, right? And so I was thinking like, oh my God, dude, if you really liked Avatar, then you should watch Death Note. And that kind of led me down a little spiral where I was like, oh shoot, I kind of want to rewatch Death Note. So that might be something I do. I've seriously never in my entire life have ever rewatched a show. I'm 23 years old. I've never rewatched a show. I know one day when I have a kid, well, I'm going to watch Breaking Bad with them. That'll probably be the next time I rewatch that show. I probably won't rewatch it until then. Him or her, right? But that just sounds awesome, right? You have a kid and then you watch fucking Prime TV with them. That'd be fucking amazing. And then you introduce them to this amazing show. So yeah, I'll probably rewatch that, but I haven't rewatched anything. I think the first thing I will ever rewatch in my life will be Death Note. And it is such an incredible show. Like I said, I was watching a bunch of clips on it on YouTube the other day, kind of like reliving what I saw. The first time, and there's just so many moments in it that are just unbelievably shocking. You're just like jaws dropped on the floor and you have to sit there for a minute and like take in what just happened. The writing is just incredible. I've never seen it. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. This is a crazy take. If I never watched Breaking Bad, Death Note would be the best show. Like I know some people don't put anime in with shows, but I will. Death Note would be the best show I've ever seen. So if you guys have never gotten into anime, if you guys, want to see something different than what you're used to, or if you just want to enjoy a good written show with great voice acting, great scenes, great art. The art is incredible. I mean, this show does such a good job at making tiny, minute things looking so fucking cool. There's a scene that I always get reminded of when I think of this. And the scene is basically the main character, his name is Light, and he's writing on a notebook. And he's just writing down on the notebook, and he's eating potato chips. And it is the most badass scene of all time. I mean, the fucking music is insane. The animation is amazing. The art style is incredible. All these sound effects they have going on it's just such an incredible scene. There's like transitions. Oh my god, it's seriously amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to get on here and talk about basically what made me fall in love with anime, which is, Death Note. And before that point, I basically hated anime and thought it was for losers. And now I look over at my shelf. For those of you that don't know, I have like a bit of a Funko Pop collection. I have a little over 200 right now. I have 213. I made a video a couple months ago, I think, showing off my whole collection, and I think at that point I had about 180, maybe 170. So I've added quite a few, and my anime shelf is full. So my anime Funko Pops, I have a lot now, which is pretty crazy, that I went from thinking anime was stupid for losers, all that shit, to now having an entire shelf in my room full of like anime characters. So I've got a bunch of characters up here. I'm looking at my wall right now. Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, Hunter x Hunter, Attack on Titan, One Piece, Inuyasha, Altered Carbon. I've got characters behind characters. I think in total now I have 55 anime Funko Pops. So, the collection's getting pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about how I basically, I went from hating anime to loving it. And it was all because of one anime called Death Note. And that is, seriously, if I were to recommend anyone an anime, it would be this show, 100%. And yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for watching.